What I enjoy so much about the time of Donald Trump in politics is that he attracts the bottom feeders, the most vile, the most craven people on the planet. And for starters, the moral high ground, way up top on the moral high ground is Kevin Roberts, the author of Project 2025, the leader of the Heritage Foundation. He is a fundamentalist, right-wing Christian, bringing everyone back into the 1950s. Well, would you believe that he bragged about killing his neighbor's dog with a shovel because it barked too much?
I absolutely would believe it, because I believe that all of these people at the Heritage Foundation are sociopaths, and they are consistently showing us who they are. They have no empathy for women, no empathy for anybody unless you are a white, right-wing Christian.
They absolutely think that they are the only ones, white Christian men, and if I'm guessing, people with money. That's who they want to protect. Everyone else, they want to marginalize and control bodily, education, advantages. It's just so sweet that we now have Governor Christie Nome killing dogs and Kevin Roberts of the Heritage Foundation killing dogs.
I mean, I read this article, and the guy was a professor at, I think it's like New Mexico State University. And he was already kind of an outlier because he bragged to the other professors about being a right-wing Republican Christian. And they all thought, well, this guy's kind of a nut. And he bragged to multiple sets of people. There's a lot of corroborating evidence. Of course, he's denied that he killed the dog. But the fact that these people who are clearly broken, who need to have deep psychiatric help, deep counseling, are seeking power because they're so wounded from their childhoods that they want to wound many other people. And they're so damaged and scarred from the hellfire damnation form of Christianity that was crammed down their throats, and they were the ones that were indoctrinated. You have these damaged adults, these human beings that have arrived at adulthood completely damaged, and what they want to do is damage everybody else. You have some people that get really damaged in childhood and want to do better for people. They want to prevent abuse from happening to others. All you have to look, the damaged people that want to hurt other people, they're all on the MAGA ticket.
Always. And another spectacular MAGA ticket influencer is Corey DeAngelis. Now, Corey DeAngelis leads what's called the Parent Revolution. And what that basically means is, in his opinion, schools are indoctrinating children, which I assume means with history.
With facts.
With facts, maybe even a little science. So it turns out that Mr. Parent Revolution, I'm on the moral high ground. Kids should be able to have biblical education and the state pay for it. Guess what we have found out about darling little Corey?
Go on.
He used to be a porn star in gay films. I mean, it's the never-ending people that want to marginalize the LGBTQIA plus community. They're the biggest critics. It is because they're running from the fact that they are gay. And it is obscene. It is maddening that someone who presents themselves to be a morally superior human marginalize the gay community. Turns out he's an adult gay porn star.
Here's the situation. You have people that were indoctrinated. This man is clearly gay, born gay, and he was indoctrinated to think the way he was dirty, wrong, sinful, the devil's after him, and all that crazy language in right-wing Christianity. He's completely damaged. He was emotionally abused, spiritually abused, and tortured by his caretakers, his family, and his church, and told that this is naughty and all of these things. And as he goes, he was able to be gay for a little bit, and then he swings back in because that indoctrination, that religious indoctrination is so deep, then they want to project that onto society at large. And I believe with everything in me, as a nation, in order for us to address MAGA. We're going to have to address far-right Christianity, evangelical Christianity within these mega churches. That's where this whole abortion is murder. That's where it was born. It was born in the pulpit, not in science rooms, not in hospitals, not in laboratories, not in textbooks. All of the ideas that MAGA clings onto were all born in the pulpit. And you have a very damaged group of the population that was spiritually abused, told you're born horrible. You're a horrible person. Beating off is terrible. Masturbating is terrible. Having crushes and lusting after people are terrible. Well, all of those things are normal.
Right.
So imagine how fucked up that makes your worldview. And sadly, these people are now, trying to implement this whacked out, unscientific, deranged policy to a general public. Well, what's the link between these damaged people and MAGA? It is all of that damage, that fear baiting that was indoctrinated into them as children, set the psychological soil for Donald Trump to scare the shit out of them. They're executing babies. They're doing sex changes at schools. They're eating dogs. They're eating cats, all that crazy. These people have been engaged in magical thinking from the jump. They don't know a life without magical thinking. Fast forward to their adulthood, and they have a man who looks like a preacher with the swoopy hair, the makeup, grifts like a preacher, lies like a preacher, scares the shit out of them like a preacher. So it's comfortable. They have found themselves yet another abuser. And make no mistake about it, what Donald Trump engages in with his supporters is abuse. It's gaslighting. He's lying to a dumbed down, indoctrinating public, scaring the shit out of them. And they've been scared their whole lives, so they buy it hook, line, and sinker. All right, now let's take a moment to hear from our sponsor, Field of Greens. Pumps, I have to tell you, as busy as we've been during this election season, I've been worried about getting the proper nutrients. Thank God we have Field of Greens, can take it on the road with us.
What's so great about Field of Greens is I feel guilty at the end of the day when we've been super busy because I didn't get the proper nutrition and vegetable consumption. Field of Greens solves that problem.
That's right, listener. Field of Greens feeds your body with fruits and vegetables medically chosen to support your heart, vital organs, and immune system. You get better sleep, no afternoon crashes, and even your stomach will feel a ton better. Listen, we've got 15% off your first order and free rush shipping. All you have to do is visit fieldofgreens.com and use promo code manager. That's promo code manager at fieldofgreens.com. Again, that's fieldofgreens.com.
And of course, the most craven and in the news Republican hand-chosen by Donald Trump is Marc Robinson, who we know is, oh my gosh, he hates women. They shouldn't be allowed to vote. He's anti-Semitic. Now he's on Naked Africa porn chat room saying, he's a Nazi and all that, black Nazi. He hates women. He hates LGBTQIA plus people, but yet he's got a kink for trans porn. So you might ask yourself, how is it all these followers, all these Republicans that purport to be on the moral high ground, how did they come into the Trump orbit? How did we get here? And so an unlikely source for explanation is Christie. But let's see what he has to say on this phenomenon.
This was predictable. Marc Robinson's tenure in public life has shown erratic, sometimes highly offensive statements over and over again. And Donald Trump supported him and endorsed him. In fact, called him better than Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King Jr. on steroids.
That's right.
All right. So this was predictable. And this is the problem for us Republicans. As long as Donald Trump is your recruiting agent for candidates in swing states, we're going to continue to get our rear ends handed to us.
And in that vein, Donald Trump picks these people. He chooses to surround himself with these people and adopt their ideology because he is these people. These people and him are interchangeable.
But there's something so much even simpler than that. Because Donald Trump doesn't even really have a code of ethics. He doesn't really have a set of morals. the only qualification to earn Donald Trump's support is to say, I love Donald Trump and I think he's one of the best presidents ever. That's all it takes. And then you're in. It's so much thinner and more on the surface than having some sort of shared value system. Marc Robinson earned Donald Trump's support because he's a Trump thumper, just like a Bible thumper. Then now they're all Trump thumpers.
No, that's true. He is so easily manipulated. And then I just wanted to end with the discussion about the candidate running in Ohio, the Republican senator. His name is Bernie Moreno. And what he said is one of the more offensive things that I have heard. Kylie, will you play that clip?
You know, the left has a lot of single-issue voters. Sadly, by the way, there's a lot of suburban women. A lot of suburban women that are like, listen, abortion's it. If I can't have an abortion in this country whenever I want, I will vote for anybody else. Okay, a little crazy, by the way, but especially for women that are like past 50, I'm thinking to myself, it's an issue for you.
That to me shows exactly what being a Republican is.
Yep.
They don't understand why somebody would care about something unless it would personally affect them. I think it was earnest in his mind when he said that, earnest to himself, not to the world. He believes, like, he can't understand the component of empathy. And that is a common defect within far-right Christianity, Christian nationalism, and MAGA republicanism. He doesn't understand, well, I mean, if you're 50 or over, why the hell would you give a shit about abortions? And he believes that because he doesn't give a shit about anything unless it happens to him. Same as Donald Trump, same as Marc Robinson, same as, you know, childless cat lady Lindsey Graham, and on and on.
The thing that is so infuriating about this is, just like you said, he infers that if it's not happening to you, why do you give a shit? I give a shit because I'm fighting for his daughter and his granddaughter so they don't have to die in childbirth or because they have a miscarriage. I am past childbearing age, but I will fight for the right for all of these right-wing MAGA people when their daughter is bleeding out in the parking lot. Whether it's my daughter, their daughter, or anybody's female loved one, if you do not have the empathy for somebody that your policy, Trump purposefully turned the court so they would overturn Roe versus Wade. And what that means in clear, plain English is women are dying, full stop. And they don't give a shit.
No, they traffic in recreational cruelty. And I know I keep bringing back to this, but where in their life did they learn about recreational cruelty? From their far-right evangelical megachurch pastors and their parents. Oh, they caught little, whatever this guy's name is, masturbating. Then he's punished. He's told that was the devil, all of this crazy stuff. And that indoctrination leads them to this point where they still like to traffic in recreational cruelty. Everything that Trump does is nothing short of recreational cruelty. The people who really like to sink their teeth into this, they know that he's a useful idiot. They know he's not religious. They know he's a sack of shit. They just have to say, oh my God, I love Trump. He's a great president. I'm a MAGA thumper, love Melania, love Don Jr. The whole ticket's fantastic. And Trump was like, oh my God, they think I'm great. I think they're great. And then they get to just go forth and write Project 2025. And this schmuck sitting here to me, that's so embarrassing for him that he's that unevolved emotionally as a human being. Like he's in grade school, like toddler class for emotional intelligence. And it's like, of course, you don't even have to respond as to why we care about things that don't matter to us, because we want to leave a world a good place. We want to build a good society. That's not in their brains, right? Because everything starts my own personal relationship with Christ. So it starts this very narcissistic worldview that then you see played out. The bridge from that to MAGA to me is like
straight line.
Totally. All right, stick with us for more hot takes. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
It's so